And you said it so well, the sideline love. There's nothing like the sideline love in this business. And I just so appreciate being on, especially with some of my Wonder Women and just some of the side.
Oh, sorry, I just muted you, I think. Leah, can you unmute yourself? I accidentally muted you. In fact, I'm gonna mute everybody. Hang on. Everybody is now muted, so now if you would unmute yourself, that would be perfect.
Awesome. So yeah, I was just saying, I would have never known all of the people that I know, and including yourself, Nikki. So I just so appreciate being on here, and that's what we do. You're right. We do what we can to make sure that that our sidelines are taken care of too. So, and I can say that Nikki, you once invited my entire team at conference to your team's dinner. And we weren't the only team that was brought in that were, kind of motherless, so to speak, at that particular one. So it's so special. So thank you. So a little bit about me. I actually heard about Juice Plus from my doctor. She was not only my doctor, but my boss. And I think she was really tired of me calling in sick. I actually used to suffer from a really rare autoimmune, and up until I was 35 years old, had been on and off 6 to 7 medications since I was a kid. And I don't ever remember not taking medication until, it's been 9-10 years now that I've been off of all of my medication. I've been on Juice Plus this month, actually 13 years. My Juice Plus baby will be 13 this year. So it's been a beautiful thing. I am not the same woman I used to look in the mirror and see without getting super specific. But it became such a catalyst for so many changes. And then of course, when you're in this community, you change. And then I decided, I want to do a little bit more than offset the cost of my product. And to be honest, guys, I had no idea what I was getting into, like zero. I was super shy, was not a businesswoman. And I really just kind of was like, I'm just going to jump in and see. I love the product. So here we are all these years later. And I would say that I probably took the business seriously about 5 years ago. And ever since then, it's just been uphill, and it's really been wonderful. Not like, we don't have a little bit of a learning curve, but it's been so great. And I can tell you there's so much to my story, my business story. But I'm not in the mood to cry tonight, and you guys probably aren't either. But this business has changed everything about who I am, my financial position, the peace of mind that I have going to bed and waking up every day with this paycheck that comes every month, no matter what. But I turned 45 last year, and I decided that I was going to retire into my Juice Plus business. The job that I had was absolutely not serving my family and I. And on top of it, we had, the fact that I needed to choose, staying home with my child versus getting a paycheck from a job. And of course, as moms would do, with, when you have this backup plan, I was able to leave my job. And to be honest, my son goes to his dad's a couple days a week. And on those days, I thought, oh my God, this is horrible. Who stays home like this? You can only do so much Juice Plus. You can't travel right now. So funny thing, I actually went back to work 2.5 days a week for fun. And that is exactly what I'm having, because I'm living life, literally, you guys, on my own terms. It is incredible. It does take some time, but oh my gosh, what a life. So that leads me into customer care. So I really call this the gold mining, the gold standard of customer care, the who, the why, and the when. And I've got my notes here. So I just want to share something that I do with all of my new people, which is I send them a little goodie bag. So I can send them a little bit, Juice Plus swag, maybe one thing there, some chewable pocket packs, a recipe card, and 1 sachet of Complete. And then I love to send separately in that big envelope a small thank you card. And what I say is, here's my future, or here's business cards for future referrals if you really feel like I do a great job for you. Mm-hmm. And so it's been really cool to get feedback from that. So I'm going to start with the why. Why do we do customer care? Well, it creates stronger relationships with our customers. It I can't even tell you how many times people are so shocked that two people, not just me, but two people are calling them to thank them for a $50 investment, a $75 investment, whatever that looks like for them. We really want to thank them. I bought a luxury car last year, and nobody called me. Nobody called me a week later, 2 days later. They just didn't call. And so it's very, very different. And then also from that, it creates raving fans. It totally does. And if you think about when somebody starts, they get their bottles. I am not sure why, but people don't read the label. And then they're like taking one of each a day or whatever that is. So, if we're constantly having that great customer care with them, they're never going to be in the la la land of how do I really take this? And then it builds our belief in Juice Plus, and especially of that downline partner. So if I'm the upline that's doing a customer care call, and I'll talk about how that happens with the three of us, but when you do that, it strengthens my belief in the business and the person who I'm doing the call for. I mean, when somebody's constantly telling you how wonderful they feel and the difference in them with particular issues, I mean, you can't help but really want to do these. And then it's that third party validation. So I might have said 50 times to my sister, Juice Plus is amazing, here's why. But when my upline turns around and says the same thing to her, it's like, oh my God, I never knew that. So it's also a great way to have that third party validation. It also demonstrates how closely we work with our team. I cannot stress this enough. I've had people that have been in other businesses before that were network marketing. Their upline promises the world, the moon, the stars, and all of that, and then they don't work with them. And that leaves a really, really icky feeling. And so I love that this is an opportunity for us to put our money where our mouth is and say that we work together. And even though you're in business by yourself, for yourself, you're not in business by yourself. And then it is also on the job training for new partners, and sometimes for myself. Sometimes it's just a little, switch of a word or a term that sounds much more appealing than maybe I would say. And then the why, it is so good for the soul. It is so good for the soul. I had the most amazing customer experience today. I was doing customer care calls with my upline, and we like to call them gold mining because we always, if there's a way to bring up the business, we always do. But it was just so amazing, the confidence that she has in the product, the gratitude for constantly keeping contact. I mean, I'm just so shocked because sometimes, people don't want to answer their phone. So it's so good for the soul. And I can tell you, a few years ago, I lost my mom, and 6 months later, I lost my brother. And when I was going through that, you know what I said to my team? I said, put me to work, get me on the phone with people. Let's do customer care. And I kid you not, it changed my mood, and it really did help me through that time. So now I'm going to go to the how. So those are 3-way impromptu calls. It's a consistent weekly 30-minute time blocks with your upline support or a buddy. I've noticed that sometimes there might be people that my upline may not mesh with, their personality may not mesh with the person that I'm bringing on the phone. So I might have a sideline buddy. Heidi and I have done some calls before, and probably some other people on here. And so you can do that. It doesn't have to be with your upline. And then what I do is I always send a short bio about each customer, what they're taking, how long they've been taking it, so on and so forth. And I think that really helps, and to be able to identify with that person. And we always do it ahead of time. I send that to her. And then I also send, which products they consume, how long, why they started, family health study, what I love, like, or admire about the person, and then my desired outcome for that connection call, right? To expose them to products, business opportunity, or who do you know? Or just to simply thank them for being a loyal Juice Plus customer and taking a proactive health approach. That is huge, and that should be applauded by every single person that starts the product. And then, let's see, let me go back. And then the when. that is also really important. So within the first 1 to 2 weeks of placing their order, it's been great for me. Everyone is different. But I really think 1 to 2 weeks, because then they're able to properly establish the habit, again, know how they're supposed to take it, so on and so forth. And really, when is a good time to start? Anytime. Even if you've had that customer for 6 years, you know what? Guess what? Let's start now. So this is what I usually say. So when I get on the phone with my upline and business partner, Chris, I say to her, or I get on the phone and I three-way call. She doesn't talk. And I say, hi, Margaret, this is Leah with Juice Plus. Is this a good time to talk for a few? And they'll, of course, they're going to say yes. And I say, awesome. I have my good friend and business partner, Chris, on the line. I shared your story with her and she was so thrilled that she wanted to hear it from you. Or I would say, you and Chris are both physically fit and enjoy taking good care of your body. So I thought I would connect you guys. And then I shut my mouth, literally zipit.com. You don't want to be talking. It drives me insane when people talk, like my downline might talk at the same time. It gets messy. It's 3 people on the phone. It's not a two-way dialogue in terms when there's 3 people talking, and it gets messy. So we want our upline to be the amener. We really, really do. So interjecting, like I said, it can get messy. Let your upline do the magic because they really are magical. And then my upline will often start with, Margaret, thank you for taking a few minutes with us. And congratulations for taking a proactive health approach by adding this whole food nutrition to your diet. Our outcome for the calls that you feel that the way that Leah and I do, that you would never go a day without your Juice Plus. So tell me, what made you decide to add this to your diet and what were you hoping to experience? So one of the biggest things is asking questions, like so many questions. People love to talk about themselves. We all know that. So things like, have you found yourself sharing this with others? Do you keep your income options open? If Juice Plus made sense to you, imagine how many people that this would make sense to. And then who comes to mind in this very, very moment? So I just think those are just awesome open-ended questions. It makes people think, right? So if I've indicated in the bio that this person is a dream team member, my upline always finds a way to weave it into the conversation. So the biggest thing is listen for clues when you ask questions. I know we all get excited. I'm one. See, I'm talking too fast. I'm so excited. I love customer care, as you can tell. But you want to give people a minute to actually answer the question. And I've had that happen with people that are doing a call for me and they've talked over people and it's like, ooh, you just want to cringe. So just give people a little bit of time to answer those questions. And then lastly, we don't know what to expect from these calls and they can be very intimidating. I used to be very intimidated by them. However, since you start doing these calls consistently, you will love, capital LOV, doing these calls. When you hear a customer share what it's done for them, for their families, you can't help but want to do them all the time. Trust your upline and that relationship between you and your customer by that upline amening everything, it is going to be stronger. It always is, especially if you're telling them something, a reason why they connected, a positive reason why it connected them. And again, you don't have 2 people thanking, somebody for a $71 investment. So you don't get that level of customer care most places. So I would just say, get your smiling and dialing on, block your 2 or 3 30-minute time slots with your upline. You don't need to let your customer know. These are completely impromptu. What I do is I run a customer analysis and, I'll go and I'm sure Patty can show everyone. You guys probably already know it because Patty showed me. But you can actually see their next ship date and start doing the calls from there. And it's just, like I said, it's a wonderful thing. And if you guys want these notes, I'm happy to email it to one of you guys and then you guys can distribute it. Oh, perfect. I can send it to you.
Yeah, that would be great, Leah. I've already had, the chat is just, people are just blowing up the chat, but somebody did ask, can we get those scripts? I said, I'll find it out. That'd be great.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then I saw a question. So what I typically put in the Juice Plus bag, so it'll be like, a small manila envelope. And then I put a sachet of either complete or vanilla. I put a Juice Plus recipe card. I save all of those from our shipments that come. And then I also put a little bit of Juice Plus swag. So I really value those jar openers, the little small ones. They're like $2. Who doesn't need a jar opener? I mean, come on. So I send one of those, or I don't know, something like that. And then inside of that envelope, I'll actually put a separate thank you card. And I'll write something about, if I do a great job, or if you just absolutely love, when you absolutely love the customer care that I'm going to offer you, if you feel comfortable with sharing this with other people, here's my information, something along the lines of that. But that way it's an open invitation. And then I just always let people know before I hang up on customer care that this is my number, and I really just please utilize it, because that's what we're here for. We're not here to sell a product, so to speak. We're really here to invest in you and, to help you take your health to that next level.
Leah, one of the questions was, when do you send it? Is it as soon as they sign up to become a customer? Do you send it out like the next day or within 24 hours? What does that look like?
Yeah, usually within, I would say about 24 hours. As soon as I put an order in, like I actually have an order I need to put in, and I'll get her little swag bag tonight, and it'll get mailed out in the morning.
Great. So I put in the chat, does anybody have any questions? But if you do have a question, unmute yourself and go. Is that okay, Leah? If a couple of people, I know that you have to be out by 6:30. So yeah. We've only got a few more minutes, but does anybody have any specific questions for Leah? And you'll have to unmute yourself. It says, from the leads from the company, is your approach any different?
Because I don't have much information on that person for my upline, and maybe I haven't actually spoken to them, maybe we've had text or something briefly. It does depend on the situation, but we will always do a customer care call no matter what with a lead. I think sometimes we just need to maybe talk to them a little bit before we invite them to our business.
Great. Any other questions? You got a customer expert here. Now's the time.
I may have missed it in the very beginning. This is Michael. And gosh, I really enjoyed your presentation. It's been awesome. How soon do you start doing the customer care calls? So let's say you onboard a new person. Are you waiting till month 3, month 2? Do you, how soon do you do the customer care calls with your new team members?
Within the month. Within the first month of them signing up. So they get a call or a text, whatever, for, I usually like to call, but if I can't get a hold of them, I'll leave them a quick text. Hey, just tried to give you a call, want to thank you. I sent you something in the mail. And then they'll get their little swag bag. I get a thank you typically. And then within, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, that's when my upline and we call, and yeah.
Great question, Michael.
Love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was going to spotlight you, but I could only find your name. You got kids going and dinner going. Go on, Leah.
Yeah, thank you, Patty. Thank you. Yeah, so I lost my train of thought for a second there.
Oh. All right.
Well, it wasn't anything groundbreaking, so it's okay. It was like a comment of something that I read earlier, but it'll come to me. Anyone else have any questions?
Just having you on the call is groundbreaking, Leah. I so appreciate it. Last minute, 3:30 in the afternoon, and she rearranges her call and she gets off the phone with Elton and Jay. Come on. That's crazy.
Don't tell them.
And you brought great energy, Leah. Thank you so much.
Hey, can I say one
you.
thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure she had for her vision for the year that she'd be speaking for many people. And here she is. I love it.
All right.
Thank you for pointing that out.
So
You're 100% right, Patty.
Such a great call. Last minute, we got just what we scheduled and we had no idea what we were going to get. So Leah, once again, thank you. For those of you that want, but right before we get off, to unmute yourself, to give her just a big piece, big heart, big gratitude. And at 7 o'clock tonight, we have our Take Healthy Back call with our incredible Wonder Women athletes. So it's a call that you're going to want to get on. They do an incredible job. It's from 7 to 7:20 or so. If you haven't heard them, it's Lisa Bartlett, is that right? And Irene and Kristen Finley, and they do an amazing job. So you might want to join our 7 o'clock call tonight and check them out. It's a great one to invite people to. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Leah.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You rock.
Good night, everybody. Thanks
Good
everybody for
morning.
joining on. Happy smiles.
Thank you.
Now stop.